All right, so welcome to another episode of Take 5 at 5. And today we are already at our sixth episode. And today's topic is talking about embracing uncertainty. All right, and we'll be exploring 3 mindful practices to make peace with yourself. So today we have a very special guest. I can say that he is the youngest among all the young guest speakers that we have had in our show here in Take 5 at 5. And his name is Luhan. Okay, Luhan is actually the co-founder of Symphoney Learning Solutions. All right, and welcome to our show, Luhan.
All right. Thank you, Jack. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Hilson, in the background operating this as well. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, so today we'll be talking on how to embrace uncertainty, yeah, especially in these times of crises, whereby a lot of us are stuck in our house, or people who probably, are doing business, they find difficulties in, doing their business as usual. And a lot of stress, I think a lot of people are feeling a lot of stressful moments and at home. And I think your topic that we're going to talk about today is something that is very timely, and I think it can also help a lot of people who will be watching this, right now, and probably to share with them what they can do, especially when they are home alone. Because in normal times, right, I'm very sure if let's say you and I were stressed, we can actually go out and hit our friends, call our friends, hey, I need to meet some of you, let's share our experience, and things like that. But right now, since everyone is staying at home, and also for those of you who are watching right now, please comment hi, let us know that you're watching together with us. And of course, please hit the like button, or share with us some love. And if you got any questions, you want for Luhan, or you feel Luhan is actually very good looking, he got nice hair, say something nice about Luhan and place it down below in the comment section. Okay? Yeah, Luhan, what do you want to tell us today?
All right. Thank you, Jack. I think you're very right. And I think yesterday we had a very good discussion with yourself and Hilson as well on how, this is a very, very unique situation for all of us. For someone, especially for myself, this is like one of the first major crises that I'm going through. But for many people as well who have gone through previous crises, it's usually more economic, right? It's more financial. People can still go out. People can still, go yum cha with friends. They can still go about doing their own normal daily life. It's just maybe tighten their budget. But this time it's very different because everybody is kind of stuck at home. So there's a lot of limitations that is happening, and I think this is it creates a lot of there's a lot of impact and effect on our mental health, not just our finance and all these things. So that's something that I'm excited to explore about today.
Yeah, so I think you have said it right, but it's not only for those young people who are experiencing their first downturn, or some people has already called it a crisis. But I think to many people who have also experienced a downturn previously, 10, 20 years ago, I think the situation now is different, is that previously, if you will have a lot of savings, you have a lot of cash flow, you can still survive, you can still push through, maybe you spend less. But right now, we are in a situation where we are in a total lockdown. And sometimes it's not just about, economically, but it is also about mental health as well. So a lot of times people talk about, physical health, people wants to get away from COVID-19, right? But it's more towards like during this lockdown, it's more towards a mental health. Oh yeah, we have some, I saw just now we have some people saying hi to us, right? Yes, hi, Guan Hui. Yeah. So for those
Hi,
of you who log on, right? Remember to,
Oh,
you know, like, hit the like button. Hi, Nikolai. Nikolai is
hi,
Luhan's
Nikolai.
friend, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Hi,
Stay
Nikolai.
home, save life. Yeah. So Nikolai is asking us to stay home and save lives. Okay. So remember to like, comment, and also share the watch party with your friends, and invite more and more friends. All right. As Luhan's going to share with us what are the 3 practices that we can do when we stay at home during this lockdown period, yeah, so that we can actually, embrace this uncertainty. Okay, so Luhan, what will be the first practice that you're going to share with us?
Right. You know, what's something that I notice with myself and people around me, and just being with chatting with friends all around. I think this was more prominent in the beginning, but I think there's still some people who are still very stuck, or they are frustrated with the whole situation. Like, why can't we go out? Why can't we do this? Why we cannot do that? And a lot of times that becomes anger. It becomes blame. Yeah, so we're trying to find, who caused this? Is it China? Is it US? Is it 5G? All kinds of things. And then we're saying, why our government didn't do this? Why we didn't do that? So I feel what happens is, when we have all this anger and frustration, and when we blame other people, something that's outside, what happens is we're actually giving away our power, right? So the first point that I want to share is that try and accept that nobody has all the answers. That's the first thing that I want to share here. That, hey, actually we're all just going through this together. We're all just figuring all this out as we are going along. I so hear a lot of people complaining about, hey, why my bosses, they're asking us to do this or plan this. We're already locked down, don't need to work lah. Don't need to do this, don't need to do that. Why boss? So in a way, like, boss don't know what to do. Because usually bosses are always like, hey, we have all the answers, man. We have we know exactly what to do. We have the direction, we have the vision. We can handle any situation. But this is, I think, one of a very unique situation that, hey, your boss, your GM, your CEO, I'm pretty sure they don't know exactly how things are going to happen, right? They are still figuring things out. There are some guides, very great sessions, at Tech 5 at 5 also, a lot of guidance, a lot of strategies, a lot of tips by all these experts. But one thing for sure is, nobody knows what is going to happen, and nobody has all the answers. So try and see if we can accept that situation. When we stop blaming outside of ourselves, essentially what we're doing is we're giving away our power. We're looking at something external. So what we can try and do mindfully is just try and be present and come inwards with ourselves, and realize that, okay, I'm frustrated. I don't like this situation. I don't want to be here. I wish things were different. Yeah. I wish my boss had the answer, or I wish my parents had the answer. I wish the government could save us. But hey, they are also trying their best. They're also just figuring things out as we go along. So that's the first thing I wanted to share. Once we accept, then we kind of unstuck ourselves from this powerless situation that we are in, and then we're able to move forward with that. So that's what I wanted to share in the first point.
Right. So the first point, I think, is very good insight that Luhan shared with us, which is to accept that nobody has, all the answers, right? So if you agree with this first point that Luhan has shared with us, please comment down below and type accept. Accept that nobody has all the answers. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Patrick. Yeah, Patrick, say hi to Luhan. Luhan, Patrick, say hi to
hi,
you.
Patrick. Hello.
And also, we also want to take
photo still traveling, huh? I like that.
Yeah. Maybe Patrick, miss his travel times now that he's locked down in his house. Yeah, good. So, okay, hi Mui Han. Yeah, forget to say hi to Mui Han. Mui Han has been consistently joining our show, Take 5 at 5. And also Mui Han, also our fellow My Heart Connection members. And he also have his own show at every day at 6 p.m. After this show, you can tune into his show. All right. Yep. Okay. So I think a very important point that Luhan shared with us is that, when we blame others, or when we find, the sources of what caused all this, right, we indirectly actually give away power. And when we give away power, we feel very powerless. And then when we stay at home, especially when we are alone, we feel like we are really, really locked out. And that could cause depression. And very good point, Luhan. First step, accept and be mindful. And first is to regain control. Okay, so moving on, Luhan, what will be the second step then?
Right. Great summary there, Jack. I before we move on to the second point, I just wanted to ask, those who are tuning in right now, those of you who felt that you are not very productive or you have been very distracted, type in what has been your distraction, or what you have been binging. Maybe it's Netflix, or maybe it's playing games, all those kind of things. So just type in the comments below. Okay. All right. So why I'm asking that is because this is also something that I myself struggled with actually in the first 1 week or 2 weeks of the MCO, right? It just felt like, of course, I was stuck. Yeah. And so I was just watching a lot of Netflix series. Yeah, I finished a lot of Netflix series. I was playing a lot of games as well. So it was just like, okay, just running away from the whole situation, or just indulging in all this entertainment and all these distractions. So I think what happens is that a lot of people are actually doing this and using this as a coping mechanism, right? Because we don't know what else to do. Okay, but that added compounded effect on that, I feel, is that when people start feeling more guilt when they start watching Netflix, or when they are not productive in the morning, or they are sleeping so much, then people start feeling a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. I think this is especially true for high performers, who are very used to, just going out there and doing their thing. So suddenly coming at home and, just being, go into all this entertainment, we can sometimes feel very guilty about that. So what I want to share the message here is that I want people to know that, hey, come on, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay to watch a few movies on Netflix. It's okay to sleep in a little bit. I think it's okay. When we add on the guilt layer on top of it, it makes things like 10 times worse, and it keeps us stuck in a downward spiral. So I just think that people need to, it's not a very sexy point, but I think people need to hear this. Yeah. What do you think, Jack? How has this been for you?
Yin Yin has commented, she says that, during this lockdown period, she's less productive and she sort of feel no directions. And, we also have Mui Han commenting that, indulging in sensual pleasures. So this is a very interesting comment from Mui Han. I'm wondering what type of sensual pleasures did he indulge in. So, all right. So, yeah, Sengyi is saying enjoying downtimes and getting lazy, and that brings up a very good point. I'm glad that Wuhan, you say that it's okay sometimes that we tend to indulge in all these things. Ted is saying that high performers feel guilty because they are not contributing anything, and that could be right. And for me, I think this is what I'm indulging.
Oh yeah. You notice we tend to eat a lot when we are on lockdown, like more than usual. Although we have a lot of food supply, there's nothing scarce about it. But I think we're just, I think it's just, a lot of mental health emotions going on. Maybe some of us feel, like Ted says, we feel we're not contributing, so we feel, sometimes we feel helpless. Sometimes we feel worthless. Even sometimes we feel useless in that sense, and so there's a sense of emptiness going on inside. So what I'm trying to say here is that when we are mindful, then again, we can take a step back on all of this and say, hey, I like Brother Sengbi's approach, just relax and get a little bit lazy. It's fine. We've been working hard. Some of us have been working very hard for years and decades. So I think it's fine to just relax. Yeah, Brother Sengbi, exactly. It's okay. When you add on the guilt, the shame and all those things, and all the thoughts of, oh, I need to do more, I need to be better. I'm not saying don't do that, but don't do that with a sense of guilt. Don't do that with a sense of shame or a sense of unworthiness. That's what I want to say for the second point.
Yeah, Mian is saying that, in this MCO, instead of, getting downtime, she felt much more busier than the normal working days. She's so busy, she got no time to self-indulge, And that is very true because Mian also, since, last week when we started this Take 5 at 5, we also called her, and invited her to become our guest in our show, Take 5 at 5. If you missed the show, you can go to our website, facebook.com/eduactionmy. You can see the repeat of the Tech 5 at 5 that we have had with Mian. It was actually a very good sharing there as well. Yeah. And for us here, the first few weeks, we really, really enjoy ourselves. We really take this time to rejuvenate. I would call it rejuvenate, from all those busy times. But after a while, we felt that we are a bit lost. And for myself and Houston, who is controlling the session right now, backstage, we are very glad that we actually started this show, and it has been keeping us busy ever since we started this show, right? Yeah. So Luhan, what would be the second point then?
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thanks. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. If you just bring the slides up, it's actually I want to remind everyone to just be kind to ourselves. Just go easy on yourself. I mean, if you have worked like Mian mentioned, that's very good. Keep that up. I think those who have work to do right now is very lucky. But for all of us out there who are at home, and who may struggle with this, because I know a lot of friends who also struggle with this. I think just be kind to ourselves. Yeah. Your work to do, just do the work. If you got no work to do, you can relax. It's okay. So just be kind. Yeah. Yeah. You want to eat your fish strips? Okay. You want to eat ice cream? Okay. You want to watch Netflix? Okay. Give yourself permission to be kind to yourself.
But Luhan, I also want to ask you, what about those people who are affected by this MCO, whereby probably there's loss of income, loss of jobs, people who have been told to stay home, probably have been told by their company, to take non-unpaid leave, and now probably some of them has been retrenched and things like that. What would be your advice to them then?
Okay. Yeah, that leads very nicely into the third point, Jack. So I think on one extreme is that we are overindulging. Yeah. So that's not what I'm saying here, don't go back later after say, hey, Luhan say can watch Netflix all day, just sleep in all day. That's not what I'm saying. That's one extreme. The other extreme is that we are being too critical and we're not being kind to ourselves. So what I'm saying here is, the third point is to just make progress. Yeah. So making progress is something that it requires something more skillful. It's something in between, So we need to take stock of okay, what do we need to do? If let's say we loss of income or your business is struggling, yes, you need to pivot, you need to change your strategy, you need to do things differently. Yes, just do that, But there's a difference between doing that out of a sense of a frustration or out of a sense of wanting to compete with other people, or doing that out of a sense of wanting, you just feeling that unworthiness and wanting to do that, versus coming from a place of acceptance. Yeah, that's why that's the first step, where we're accepting the whole situation. Then we realize that, hey, what can I do? This is actually a true story for myself. Like at first, when I was stuck there, and then I was like, kind of like, what's happening? What do I do? Everybody is like doing, Jack Hilson doing Take 5 at 5. People are holding their online seminar. They're shifting their whole training online. But what am I doing with my business? I was struggling with that, and I feel like, I needed to be a better person. I needed to do something greater. I needed to push myself more. I think that kind of mindset is actually, it sounds helpful, but it can be actually a bit detrimental, because we are very critical of ourselves. So what I'm suggesting is, in the first step, once we accept, then we are being kind to ourselves. So we accept that, okay, maybe there's criticism, there's guilt in us. It's okay. We just be aware of all those things. And then the third step is we make progress. So we really step back and ask ourselves, okay, what do we really need to do? What do we really need to do right now? You know, instead of being stuck of like, hey, blaming people, or being stuck of, I shouldn't be watching Netflix, or I shouldn't be this, I should be that, I shouldn't be that. So making progress means also taking baby steps. Yeah, just take baby steps. So every day, just do something to progress. I feel that
Okay,
helps in building.
we have a question from Bucks. Bucks Tan is asking, Luhan, what are your advice to people who are overwhelmed with fear and worries because the road ahead is blur, and that is exactly our topic of the day. We call embracing the uncertainty, Yeah. So Luhan, what would be your take on this?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Dr. Bucks. Absolutely correct. There's a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety in this current climate. And what happens when we feel all those things is actually our mind is in the future. We are worried about what's going to happen or what's not going to happen, and we're constantly worried about that. So when we practice mindfulness, means we are coming back to the present moment. So when we come back to the present moment, we can first of all notice what is happening. How do we feel? How does the body feel? How does the mind feel? So just taking stock is kind of like just checking in with ourselves, taking stock, come back to the present moment. And then once the mind is more settled, then we can see, okay, we can see clearer. That's for one. So when we do our planning, when we do a pivot, when we change our strategy, or for the future, we are planning at this moment with more clarity. So I really suggest that people, if you're overcome with fear and worry, all those things, don't try to run around too fast to push it away. Don't try to suppress it. Don't try to run away from it so much. If you can, just try and come back to yourself, come back inside, and try and notice how you feel. Then you can make better steps, better progress that is clearer and more skillful and wiser. At least that's in my own experience. I feel that's the case that I would advise.
Okay, wow, that's very good insight, yeah, whereby when people are worrying about something that is not yet happened, and we are really not sure whether the things that we are worrying about, is it in the reality or not, yeah. So I think Luhan has shared a very good insight, and Sengbi also mentioned that worry and fear, your mind is in the future inappropriately. So and Sengbi commented that is actually a good insight. And I also feel that when you talk about coming back to your third point, right? And before that, now those of you who join us, welcome to our show. We are already at the episode 6 of Take 5 at 5. If you just join us, please comment below, say hi to us, And those of you who has been with us since the beginning, maybe you can share with us in terms of the three stages of the three practices. At which stage are you right now? So are you the acceptance part, or probably you find that, hey, I'm still blaming people, looking for fault, or are you at the, the second part where you constantly love yourself and be very kind to yourself during this MCO, or are you at the third stage where you are actually making progress? There was something that you always wanted to do but never have the time to do it because you're so busy in your daily routine, your work, and so caught up with your work that you got no time to start. And that you have already started making progress. It could be, probably work out, try to slim down, try to get the six-pack abs that you always wanted, And for us, for me as a trainer, it's more towards like we are always talking about digitalizing our content, bringing it online, but we have never had the opportunity to do so. But I think this MCO has actually pushed Houston and I, both of us, to actually start making progress in something that we have already been talking about for quite some time, but never do anything about it. Yeah. So Singvi is saying that yes, he's actually making progress right now. Yeah. How about the rest of you? Come, let's have a look. Yeah, progressing mindfully. Wow, Mian.
Very nice.
Up the level. Up the level. Yeah. Oh, Diana says that she's at all stages. Oh, that's very interesting.
That's a good
Luhan,
point.
could it be that, sometimes people at stage 1 acceptance, and then they move on to, loving themselves, and then they go back to stage one again, or could that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not permanent, just because we have achieved just because, for example, just because our mind is calm right now, right, doesn't mean the mind will become tomorrow or 1 hour from now. Just because that we feel at peace right now, or we feel loving ourselves right now, that doesn't mean that we cannot fall into a pothole the next minute. It's very impermanent, and so if you're not careful, that's the key. If you're not careful, which is being mindful, then we can very easily fall into the traps of criticizing ourselves, blaming other people, or overindulging in Netflix or ice cream or sleep, whatever it is. So because we don't know what's happening. So that's why mindfulness, I feel, is so very important at this junction here.
All right, thanks, Luhan. So, what we've get out from today's session with Luhan, because we're coming to the end of the show, the 3 mindful practices to make peace with yourself. So, number 1, to accept that nobody has all the answer. This is the first step to regain control of your life. And once you regain control, remember the first thing that you need to do is to be kind to yourself. And of course, the third thing is, make sure that, all those things that you've written down in your 2020 list that you want to achieve, make sure that you have achieved some sort of progress. If you haven't achieved any big step or big leap in that progress, at least you make sure that you get it started. Right,
Yeah.
Luhan?
Yeah, this is definitely very true for myself. I've a short story about myself is I used to actually write a lot as a kid. Yeah, and as I was growing out, even when Blogger was just starting, Blogspot, all these names that was at one point very hot. I used to write a lot, used to maintain a lot of blogs. But it's something that I haven't been doing for a very long time. I think since I started working. So when the lockdown happened, then after indulging in Netflix or what, I started feeling a bit itchy, a bit of the sense of, or maybe you can call it like a calling or like a nudge from the universe to like, hey, stop consuming so much. Go and create, put your effort into creating something. So that's why I started putting efforts into writing. And yeah, writing. Well, generally is anything of my interest, but I generally like to write about personal growth because that's a topic that I quite like. So if anybody is interested, then I'm writing at byluhan.com. So that's BYLOOHAN.com. So there are some articles which I touch upon the topics that I've mentioned today as well, and I think that will be quite helpful for some people out there who might be interested to read.
Yeah. For those of you who have always wanted to start reading, but have never, started reading any article or anything at all, besides maybe just the newspaper, go log on right now to byluhan.com, BYLOOHAN.com, and go and read all Luhan's posts. By the time you finish all Luhan's posts, you can actually join. Luhan have upcoming mindfulness session, right, Luhan? When is it, Luhan? Maybe you can share with us.
Yeah, so this is a meditation mindfulness session that we're taking place every Monday night, 8:30. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's 8:30, and it's open, it's public, so anybody can join in. And there are a few of us from the group called Zest Connection who takes turn to guide the sessions on Monday. So happen next Monday is my turn. So if anybody is interested, I think I will leave the link in the comment sections below, so you can check that out and join us next Monday.
Yeah, or you can log on to byluhan.com. Luhan, you go and post one announcement there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great idea. I will do that.
Yes, thank you, Luhan, for being with us here today at Take 5 at 5. Yeah, we are really glad, and very grateful to have you here with us today, as well as for those of you who has been tuning in, since the first episode, and those of you be tuning in today. Thank you very much for being with us. This is Jack, the host for today's session, Take 5 at 5. Hope to see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
All right. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Jack and Hilson, for having me. Okay. All right. So, do we do this?
Bye bye.
Take 5.